Okay, welcome back to Restaurant Reviews. My name's Steve Napolitano, Brad Jacobson behind the camera, and today we're going to do our 100th review of Pancho's Restaurant.
Cut. State of the city.
We're back. Thank you and welcome everyone. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting tonight's 2023 State of the City for the City of Manhattan Beach. My name's Steve Napolitano. I'm your mayor. On behalf of my colleagues and myself, I want to say thank you for being here tonight and listening. Now, when we're talking about the state of the city for Manhattan Beach, the state of our city is stronger than ever. Not just because we have a strong budget, a thriving business community, and great schools. The state of our city is more than just a bunch of facts and figures. It's a state of mind. People are always asking me, what makes Manhattan Beach so special? And the answer is everything. From our beach to our pier to our just right climate, people from all over the world come to share what we have. We're 4 square miles of unique neighborhoods with their own vibe and character. Sand, Hill, Tree, Poets, Manhattan Heights, Liberty Village, and North End. These are the sections that make up Manhattan Beach. We're a world-class dining destination with a view, along with a one-of-a-kind retail shops in our quaint downtown and North End, with larger national brands along Sepulveda and Rosecrans. We're also home to some of the best events and traditions anywhere, from our 6-man Manhattan Open volleyball tournaments, to our 10K run and hometown fair, to our holiday open house and fireworks, among many others. There's something for everyone in Manhattan Beach. As for those facts and figures, well, your city council has been busy transitioning out of a pandemic whose emergency orders have just lifted to moving full speed ahead on a number of different issues. Of course, everything we do begins and ends with our budget. Fundings make cities go, and while Bruce will cover the details, our proposed budget for the coming year will be bigger than ever because our revenues have bounced back bigger than ever. Unfortunately, our expenses are bigger than ever too. Why? Well, for anyone who has questions about the expense of a city that hasn't grown in size or population for decades, the expectations of our residents, the challenges of the world around us, and the mandates of state and federal government have grown exponentially, requiring our budget to grow too. A bigger budget means more though. More services and programs and more opportunities to get more things done. And it starts with what the community wants. You spoke and we listened. You wanted a strong, local, sustainable fire department and we listened. We improved the management of the department while addressing excessive overtime and approved the hiring of 3 additional firefighter paramedics to serve the needs of our community. You wanted us to address rising crime and we did that too. We hired a new police chief, Rachel Johnson, and we just approved hiring 7 new police officers and other support staff so we can have more downtown patrols, more enforcement of quality of life issues, and more support for efforts like our Neighborhood Watch, because it takes all of us to keep all of us safe. But it's not just about arrests, it's about prosecution, putting the bad guys away. And while we've tried to improve that too, we're still trying to get the DA to allow us to prosecute more crimes locally, and we'll keep trying. In the meantime, we're looking at additional cameras and technologies to keep us safe too. But safety isn't just about police and fire. You wanted us to do more about homelessness, and we did that too. We bought more shelter beds and hired our own housing navigator to get more folks off the streets and into shelter and services, so we could also enforce local laws against camping and harassment when needed. We're addressing e-bike safety through an education campaign led by Councilmember Franklin, who's put many hours educating our youth on e-bike safety and the rules of the road. Thank you, Councilmember Franklin. We've also addressed the increased presence of coyotes in our community by educating residents on what to do if they see a coyote and how to keep their pets safe. We've recently approved trapping as a last resort when education fails. We've made clear that there's no place for hate in Manhattan Beach by launching our United Against Hate campaign, in part thanks to former Councilmember Hildy Stern. This is a campaign to address hate incidents in our community. Manhattan Beach, though, isn't just about dry budget numbers and following the rules. We like to have fun too and pay tribute to our past. We restored funding for park maintenance that had to be cut during COVID and are revitalizing Sand Dune Park, Veterans Parkway, and Pollywog Park. And yes, after several delays, we're finishing up on the new playground equipment at Pollywog Park, I swear. We were also able to add several new pickleball courts in partnership with the school district to meet the growing demand for additional court space. Now we're dealing with the growing demand for earplugs thanks to the noise a pickleball makes. We said everyone is welcome here with the installation of our new rainbow crosswalk down by the beach. And while the COVID pause delayed other art projects, your council just approved hundreds of thousands of dollars in new art, murals, sculptures, utility box wraps, and more. These will be paid for by developer fees and don't rely on taxpayer dollars. And we continue to address our past by approving a new plaque and new art piece for Bruce's Beach Park after a long but needed re-examination of its history. And we're finally starting to digitize all the historical documents and artifacts stored in our Little Red House at Pollywog Park so that our history will be preserved for future generations. And we've been able to use dedicated library funds to do it. So thanks to LA County for approving this project. Now, less sexy to some, but just as important as anything else I've talked about is the policy and planning for public works, our sustainability initiatives, and community development issues. More than 95% of Manhattan Beach households have chosen 100% clean electric energy to power their homes while still paying less than if they went with Edison. And all those things you don't think about, like water being there when you turn on your tap, flushing without fear, as former Mayor Walt Dewar used to say, and streets and lights and storm drains all working well, you still don't have to think about them because Public Works keeps them working. We also did a complete $30 million redo of Peck Reservoir. I'm guessing most of you didn't even know we had a reservoir for our water, so here's a picture of it. And this shows you didn't even know we had one because that's not it. That's a picture of a Chevron tank. This is it. Actually, that's not it either. That's Fire Station 2, which will also be completed soon. I could do this all night, but here's an actual picture of it. And while it was called the Sepulveda Bridge Widening Project, the truth is we just finished a completely new Sepulveda Bridge next to the mall. I'm not sure exactly why, except now you can speed in all 4 lanes, not just 3. Have at it, folks. Now that's an overview of just some of the things we've all been working on this past year. So I'll finish up with a few things we're getting going on now. One is outdoor dining. Yes, folks, we all know everyone loves outdoor dining, but the temporary program was just that, temporary. And now we have to deal with the Coastal Commission and a whole bunch of other considerations now that the emergency order is ended. To do that, we're going to be appointing a task force to work on solutions for a permanent outdoor dining program that balances the various interests and meets the rules we have to live by. Local control. This is a never-ending fight for your city council and any local elected official. Yes, we need more housing in California, especially affordable housing. But we also need a say in what that looks like so it fits the character of our community and follows the same rules that everyone else has to play by. Right now, there are a few options for us, but if you agree with what I just said, let your state legislators know as well and tell them you're not going to vote for them again if they don't listen, and get their colleagues to listen too. The Senior and Scout House Community Center. We started with a donor drive by some dedicated volunteers to replace the decrepit Scout House being held up by termites, and now the city has stepped up to pledge $4 million in funding to get a new facility built. Stay tuned on this one. There's still time to donate, and we'll be having a groundbreaking soon. Again, these are just a few things that we've been working on and will be working on in the near future. I want to thank everyone here for their part in making things happen, and I want to thank my colleagues for all they do as well. As you know, we had an election, and we have 2 new council members, in David Lesser and Amy Holworth. This isn't their first rodeo, and they know how to get things done, as do council members Joe Franklin and Mayor Pro Tem Richard Montgomery. I'm mayor of the moment with a few days left until Richard rotates in on the 21st. I'd really like to offer up one final thought on COVID as well. As we rush to get back to normal, whatever that is, it's important to recognize that it's not really over in a lot of ways. I'm not talking about masks, vaccines, and hand sanitizer either. The pandemic has been a life-altering event in more ways than may meet the eyes, and the trauma, anxiety, and stress it caused and continues to cause for many is deep-seated and will likely be with us both consciously and unconsciously for years to come. I've lost an extraordinary amount of friends over the last 3 years due to suicides and overdoses. So if you or someone you know needs help with mental health or addiction issues, please reach out to someone, anyone, and get help. Reach out to me, to the city, to a therapist, to friends or loved ones. There is help out there and nobody should suffer alone, and that's community too. Now, if you're still awake, I want to thank you all for your attention, for the utter and complete honor it has been to serve as your mayor for these past 9.5 months. As I said, there are many reasons why Manhattan Beach is special, but nothing makes it more special than you. There's more to the program, but I'll sign off for now by saying God bless you all, God bless the city of Manhattan Beach, and God bless the United States of America.